Oh, hello there. Thank you for joining me today. I'm enjoying a nice cup of English tea, English breakfast, and I'm going to talk about some books. So first things first, I wanted to show you what I got for Christmas. So I received this very nice biography of G.K. Chesterton by Ian Kerr. So I don't know much about Ian Kerr except that he was a Catholic priest and he passed away a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. So this one is supposed to be the best and definitive biography of G.K. Chesterton. So I'm very excited to start reading it. You can see there are pictures inside. Not that many, just a handful, but quite nice still. I'm not super pleased with the quality of the binding or the pictures as I've shown you. It's not great, but if the content is good, that's what matters, of course. Then I received as well this one here, Mr. Bliss by Tolkien. So this is part of his children's stories, as you can deduce from the cover. But what's particularly interesting about this one is that all the illustrations are by Tolkien himself. And I'm going to show you a few. Let me first take off the dust jacket. So it's a story that he tried to get published after The Hobbit, but he couldn't because it was too expensive. So you can see the spine here. Oops, upside down. The spine is quite nice with Mr. Bliss here. The golden lettering. It's very nice book and edition. You can see some of the illustrations here. It's very much child oriented, but I really enjoy all these illustrations. I think Tolkien was a fine artist, even though he was very humble about his skills, but it's quite nice. So I already started it. It's interesting, it's nice, but it's very much for children, so I don't think as an adult you will really enjoy it like you would The Hobbit, for example. This is more to read with your children. I read it because I'm a completionist and I want to read everything Tolkien ever wrote, but I'm mostly interested in the illustrations, actually. But the main event is this very beautiful edition of the collected poems of Tolkien. You can see I've already started reading that one. And also here, the illustrations are by Tolkien. It's very beautiful, just gorgeous edition. I love it. So it's supposed to have around 250 poems, 70 of which had never been published before, so it's quite interesting. It's divided into 3 parts. So you have the first one from 1910 to 1919, and then you go to 1931 and then to 67. I started reading the introduction by the authors, and so it's Christina Scull and Wayne G. Hammond, and they're really doing a great job of explaining the context and what Tolkien was trying to do, what poetry was like at the time. It's very interesting. I will make a video at some point about this when I've read more and can tell you a bit more about it. But it's very interesting. You can see I've already read a little bit of it. It's a great gift. Very pleased about it. Now, let's move on to the reading plans for 2025. So let's keep with Tolkien. I mentioned in my last video, if you saw it, I wanted to finish Referendum. So it's one of his children's stories, one of the most childish stories, and I tried it twice and failed to complete it because it's too light. I don't know. It's still poetic and well written. It's Tolkien, you know, so it's always some quality there. But yeah, it's not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. But I want to get it done, and maybe when I've read it entirely, I will absolutely adore it. I don't know. And I also have The Adventures of Tom Bombadil. So both these books are illustrated by Pauline Baines. And I'm more excited to try this one, of course. So I've read already some poems there, but I think they're nice. I'm really looking forward to it. Then I wanted to read more non-fiction by Tolkien, so this will be mostly on fairy stories. So it's an essay that I have already read, but something like 8 years ago maybe, and I gotta admit I don't remember anything about it at all. But since it's so central to Tolkien's philosophy and view of the world and art, I think it's really important that I dive back in, so it will be on my agenda, one of the first things that I will be reading this year. And this edition is quite nice, I like it. It's nothing much to tell about it, but I like this picture of Tolkien. Then I wanted to keep reading Chesterton, as you could have guessed from the biography. So I will probably start with the Ballad of the White Horse. So it's an epic poem about King Alfred and his fight against the Vikings. It's considered as the last great epic poem in English. So very excited about it. It's about 100 pages long, so not that big a commitment. Looking forward to it. Now, after that, I also want to keep reading C.S. Lewis, and unfortunately I don't have any physical copy for his books, but I want to read the Space Trilogy, as you can see here. So I'm already almost done with the first one, Out of the Silent Planet, and it's a great book. I really enjoy it. Might be better, or actually I might like it better than Narnia. We'll have to see, but it's great. It really is, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it to you. It's so good. And then by Lewis, I also want to read Surprised by Joy, which is a sort of autobiography, and his conversion seems interesting to me. And then the next big topic for this year's reading will be medieval literature. So the first one will be Tristan and Isolde. So I have a very humble edition here that I found in a second-hand bookstore, and so it's supposed to be, it's one of the most famous stories from the Middle Ages, and it's supposed to be the founding myth when it comes to romantic love in Western civilization. So quite interesting. The other very famous one is the Song of Roland, that I will be reading in French. And this one is about Charlemagne and his nephew Roland. It's probably the most famous piece of literature in Old French. And yeah, I'm really happy to give it a go and see how I feel about it. After that, I want also to read more of Arthurian legends, The Matter of Britain, and I will probably read either Thomas Mallory or Tennyson, so The Morte d'Arthur or The Idylls of the King. I don't know which one yet, maybe both. We'll see how it goes. In the same area, I want to read The Fall of Arthur by Tolkien. So this, as far as I know, is unfinished, but I still want to give it a try. I think it's also around 100 pages long, I think, maybe less. So not a huge commitment, but I'm very interested to see Tolkien's take on Arthur. And the last one that I've planned for now is this book, The Inklings and King Arthur, which is a collection of essays by various authors on, as you guessed, not Tolkien, the Inklings in general, and King Arthur. So it focuses a lot on Charles Williams because, of course, he wrote a epic Arthurian / Byzantine poem. I'm not very familiar with his work, so I don't know more, but it's still quite interesting. Of course, Tolkien's part in the Arthurian legends will be the Fall of Arthur. That's why I want to read that first. I think when it comes to Lewis, it's mostly about the space trilogy. I don't know where Arthur falls into place in that context. I don't know, but we'll see. There's also one about Chesterton, Arthurian poems. See, here is this. So quite interesting. I don't know, but I want to give it a try, and I will let you know what I think about it. Other than that, I will read some short stories here and there, mostly Father Brown and Sherlock Holmes whenever I want a break from big novels or medieval literature, things like that. But that's not set in stone, so we'll see how it goes. And this is roughly what I want to read. It's not set in stone and it's not exhaustive, but it's, I think, a good idea of what I want to do. Please let me know what you want to read next year, and if you have read some of the things that I presented to you today. Have a great day and a great year. See you in the next video.